Okay, so today I'm going to sing Paar Karenge. Just going to link this up. Thank you. पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया दाऊ जी के भैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया दाऊ जी के भैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया बंसी बजैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया बंसी बजैया, माखना जो रैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया गिरिवर थैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया रास रचैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, मित्र सुदामा तांदुल लाए, गले लगा प्रभु भोग लगाए, कहा कहा भैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, कहा भैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, अर्जुन का रथ रन में हाका, अर्जुन का रथ रन में हाका, श्यामलिया गिरिधारी बाका, श्यामलिया गिरिधारी बाका, काली नागन धैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, काली नागन धैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, द्रुपद सुत जबा दुष्ट न घेरी, द्रुपद सुत जबा दुष्ट न घेरी, राखिला जनकी देरी, राखिला जनकी देरी, आगे चेर बधैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, आगे चेर बधैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया दाऊ जी के भैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया बंसी बजैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया रस रचैया, पार करेंगे नैया रे भज कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया कृष्ण कन्हैया, कृष्ण कन्हैया कृष्ण कन्हैया, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.
Jai Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Juki Jai Shri Shri Radha Damodar Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Juki Jai Jai Nityalila Bhavishta Om Vishnu Padasta Tatsat Sri Srimad Abhaya Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Bhavishta Om Vishnu Pad Asta Tatsat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Bhavishta Om Vishnu Pad Asta Tatsat Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Kesha Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Bhavishta Om Vishnu Pad Asta Tatsat Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Mahabhagavad Srila Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Sachitananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Gaudivedanta Charja Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Traya Ki Jai Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Swarup Damodar Roy Ramananda Adi Gaura Parsha Vindi Ki Jai Namacharya Shahadas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vindi Ki Jai Shri Antadeep Mayapur Sri Mantradeep Godumadeep Madhudeep Koladeep Rudadeep Chandradeep Mudadumadeep Rudadeep Amaka Shri Navadeep Tam Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Govardhan Dvara Sunatmaka Shri Bhaj Mandal Ki Jai Shri Mahabandrivan Bandiravan Beovan Lohavan Mahavan Madhavan Talavan Kamudavan Bahulavan Vrindavana Kandiravan Kamyavan Dvarasa Atmaka Shri Bhaj Mandal Ki Jai Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Jamuna Ganga Tulasi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani Ki Jai Lalita Vishaka Ariasta Saki Vindi Ki Jai Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Ari Manjari Vindi Ki Jai Purnamasi Devi Ki Jai Vrinda-devi Ki Jai Gopi Sar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakraju Ki Jai Bhakta Vigdavinath Srina Singha Bhagavan Ki Jai Bhaktaraj Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Harinam Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Bhuvana Mangala Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai Brihat Mridanga Ki Jai Shri Bhajmandal Parikram Ki Jai Urja Vrat Ki Jai Niyam Seva Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari 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 Bo
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Homa Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmani Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prasachate Shutarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Dandavat Pranam Welcome everyone to this 25th day of our Zoom Parikrama. Firstly, I'd like to offer my unlimited Dandavat Pranams onto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Guru Maharaj, onto our entire Rupanuga Guru Varga, onto all our assembled devotees, especially onto the lotus feet of Srimad Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Vaikhanas Maharaj, and Bhaktivedanta Sripad Maharaj. Dandavat Pranams Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Welcome to our day 25 of Zoom Parikrama. We have a really jam-packed program today and really looking forward to all these beautiful places we're going to be going through. Some of them Dig, Bhojana-thali, Vyomasura's cave, to name but a few. I'll head over in the interest of time to Sripad Tridandi Maharaj, who will start off now for us. Maharaj, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Guruvaya Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadavaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. I'm first of all offering millions of Dandavat Pranams unto the lotus feet of my most beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and the same again millions of times unto the lotus feet of our most beloved, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all our divine Rupanuga Varga, and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat Pranams unto all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhuvevacha, patitanam pavanibhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, namo namaha. So yes, today we have a long day, beautiful day, ecstatic day, and we're starting our first place, stopping, coming from Giridhari Gaudiya Math, will be Dig. Dig is in the western southern corner of Braj Mandal. Dig today is in Rajasthan. So we've crossed over the states into Rajasthan. Yes, you can open this map and you can see where the cursor is on Dig. So just beside to the right of the cursor is Giridhari Gaudiya Math. Yes, that's Govardhan, is right there. So traditionally, when Nanda Baba moved with all his cows and all his family members from Gokul, they crossed over the Jamuna and they came to Chatikara, was the first place they stayed. Chatikara means circle of wagons. That's what the name means, Chatikara. And they camped there. When you've got millions of cows, you camp for a long time to, in order to feed them all, etc. So they travel slowly. I explained the other day that Braj means to move about. So the whole families were used to moving around. So they stayed in Chatikara for some time, 3-4 months perhaps. And then they began to travel towards Dig. Then they remained in Dig for some time. And in Dig, when we go on our parikrama, we always stop here with my Gurudev and we go to one of his disciples' places here, a house, and they feed the whole parikrama party, thousands of people in their home. They have a large courtyard and spicy sabji and halva, etc. But this township we actually traditionally used to stay in the early days before our temple got built in Giridhari Gaudiya Math. We would stay for at least one night, sometimes 2 nights in Dig. It's filled with very beautiful gardens. And the British couldn't conquer this township. These are Rajasthani traditional strong soldiers, etc. And they got a very large fort there, which is still present today. We can see the remnants of that large fort. So this is Dig. It's a very sacred town traditionally. Lakshman, he stayed in this town. When Satrughna went to stay in Mathura, then Lakshman came and he remained in Dig. And there's a beautiful temple with a deity of Lakshman in this township of Dig that we can see today as we go through. But I would imagine today we're just driving through because we have a long journey. So from Dig, I'm just trying to orientate everybody with where we're going on the map. So if you can see this map clearly, which is our route, then we're going to go up past Badrinath and Kedarnath are here where the arrows are. And we'll hear about that at the end because we're going to come back the same route. This cuts out a lot of the inner traffic, which is quite congested if you drive straight to Varshana or if you drive straight to Nandagaon. There's much traffic, especially in these days of the parikrama. So we take an outside road, so to speak, and we come up and we come to Kamyavan at the top. And Nanda Baba and all his family members, they came to Kamyavan. It's one of the biggest, most beautiful forests. It's considered the fourth forest, although it's one of the biggest forests in Braj and has a tremendous history. And there's many, many beautiful pastimes. Principally, Yashoda Gopi, she is born here in Kamyavan. And actually, there's a road that goes from Kamyavan straight through to Varshana. You can actually cut through. You don't have to go to Nandagaon. You can cut that area out. So Nanda Baba and Rishabhanu Maharaj, they came to Kamyavan and then they circled around, and then both of them settled in their respective ancestral homes of Nandagaon and Varshana. So this is the area, the location we're going to be going today, around Kamyavan, where many amazing pastimes are happening here. So Sripad Vaikhanas Maharaj is going to begin to describe those pastimes. Jai. So Janava, you'd like to introduce Sripad Vaikhanas Maharaj?
Thank you, Maharaj. Yes, so Sripad Vaikhanas Maharaj will now take us through Bhojana-thali, the slide, Vyomasura's cave, amongst a few other things, Baladev's footprint, and I think, can hand over to you, Maharaj.
Okay. Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Militan Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Manupit Apit Krityam Rapaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tan Maitaya Taravo Binedus Tam Savabhutam Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kiptashtakamari Tarangamadye Kripa Maitram Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavevasmi Najivami Tvayavina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tram Nayanam Charanandike Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So, I always begin by offering our most humble obeisance under the lotus feet of our beloved Gurus, unto Sri Guru Pada Padmanitya Lila Bhavishta Om Vishnu Pad, Asto Tarsat Sri Srimad Abhaya Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and Sri Guru Pada Padmanitya Lila Bhavishta Om Vishnu Pad, Asto Tarsat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, under our exalted Rupanuga Guru Varga, all these Sambhu Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So when we go on the parikram, we always go to the Bhojana-thali place first, even though in the Leela, first they do the incident with Vyomasura, and then they go there and have lunch. But we always first go to this Bhojana-thali. And again, like many places in Vrindavan, it has evolved in how it appears. It used to be very simple, actually. Just this little spot on the side of the hill where you could just walk up, everybody all together, and look and see these depressions as if they were carved and polished, right? There's pictures in the Parikram book, beautiful pictures of what it looks like. But now, they've erected this whole roof around it and sides and everything, and we used to be able to all get there, and even if you couldn't get right in there, you could hover around the edges of the hill and look down. But now it's very difficult and very crowded to get in there. But this is where Krishna, Balaram, and their cowherd boyfriends would come and have lunch. And like many places in Vrindavan, the ecstasy of that experience for the land of Vrindavan, these plate depressions, they would just melt into the ground. And they're there to this day, just like you can see it. It's actually very smooth and very shiny. And then just the hill goes down a bit, and then at the bottom of the hill, there's a little kunda. It used to be a bigger lake, and they could go there and sport and wash and bathe and do that. We would go from that point, I don't know which direction it would be, north, south, but it's towards Vyomasura's cave to a larger clearing. And that's where we would have our breakfast, and everybody would bring something, right? When we go to Bhojana-thali, we were instructed everybody should bring something, because we couldn't easily bring breakfast, khichdi or whatever to that place. It's not as accessible. So everybody would bring something, some fruits, usually Parle G's, some biscuits and different things. Whatever people would bring, they would offer at Bhojana-thali, and then we would go take our lunch at this cleared out area and have the katha, right? And so it's very nice, and it's, again, it's not particularly developed, and it's very peaceful, very quiet, and very nice place for sitting, taking prasad, for having Hari Katha. This is not exactly the place, but that's quite nearby. So then we would walk through some fields towards Vyomasura's cave, right? And on the way, we would pass this little Carana-pahadi, this little shrine, which has a footprint in it. And that footprint is the footprint of Lord Baladev. And that is going to be because during the fight between Vyomasura and Krishna, the earth was becoming so disturbed. I mean, Vyomasura is a massive demon. And Krishna, they were fighting, and the earth was trembling like an earthquake. So Baladev placed his lotus foot on that spot, and the earth was steadied. And it's not a big shrine, very small. Again, not many people can get there at one time. This is the entrance to, this is how we go to Vyomasura. Now, that's a little misleading. That picture makes it look a lot, it's pretty steep, but not like that. You can see the wires there and all. Anyway, so this Vyomasura pastime is towards the end in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but just before Krishna is going to Mathura. Narad Muni appears to him and tells him, all right, now it's time. You've got other pastimes to perform. Oh, that's the footprint. You can't see it so well. It's quite clear, actually. I've seen these pastimes. I'm seeing now you're going to go to Mathura, and then he lists different kinds of pastimes. You're going to go to Dwarka, and he lists those pastimes. And he tells Krishna that now you have to deliver the earth from the burden of the demons. This is one of the reasons you've come, right? And there's going to be a great war, you're going to, destroy so many demons and that. And he tells him that. He tells him all the things that are going to happen. He says, now, my Lord, it's time to leave, right? And then the next day, at least according to Bhagavatam, sometimes the pastimes in the Bhagavatam are not completely linear, because Shukadeva Goswami is speaking according oftentimes to his moods, his bhavs. And so one pastime might be more connected emotionally to another, but it may not be connected chronologically. Gopal Champu has them chronologically. Jiva Goswami has adjusted. But just near the end, this is one of the very last pastimes. And so Vyomasura, he was the son of Mayadanava, powerful, powerful demon who has a long history, right? He was involved with Shukracharya and helping him and Bali in the fight against Lord Indra. He had great mystic powers, and he's also the one that constructed Indraprastha for the Pandavas, because when Agni wanted to burn the forest, the large Indraprastha forest, was that the name of the forest? Khandava forest. I think it's called, not Khandava. What was it called? Anyway.
Khandava forest, yes. Khandava
Okay.
forest.
Okay. So it was a big forest full of animals and all kinds of things, but Agni wanted it, but he said, Indra protects that forest. And so he made an arrangement with Arjuna that, if you keep Indra from pouring his rains on this forest, then I can burn it. So he said, well, I need a good bow and a special arrow. So that's how he got the Gandiva bow, right? From Agni. And I think the chariot at the same time, but in any case, the bow. And so they thwarted Indra's attempt. He made an entire canopy of arrows. But Maya, Danava, was in the forest, and he wanted to escape. And so he took shelter of Krishna and Arjuna. And to pay Arjuna back, he built the Indraprastha palace for Yudhishthira. But his son was Vyomasura, and Vyomasura inherited a lot of those same mystic powers. And he could change his shape at will, very strong, very fearsome. And so Kamsa, desperate, finally came to him in the list of demons he was sending to kill Krishna. And so Vyomasura came, because one day they were there in that area. It's a wonderful area for cows to graze, and they were grazing and sporting, and they were playing one of their games, one of their cops and robbers games, right? Where some boys played sheep and other boys played thieves, and other boys played cops, right? And so the boys that were playing sheep would be stolen by the thief. And so Vyomasura took the shape of a cowherd boy, pretending to be a thief. He was a thief. And group by group, he began to snatch all these cowherd boys and take them away into this hill, into this very large cave that was in the hill at that time. And he would put them in, and then he would seal the entrance with a large rock. And gradually, he accumulated almost all the cowherd boys. Right? Krishna recognized him for the demon that he was, and a great fight ensued. And the fight was Krishna likes a fight. And so, bigger the demon, the greater the fight. Krishna becomes very happy by these fights, right? So it must be that Vyomasura was a great bhakta, right? Because he made Krishna happy, right? Oops, no, because we heard earlier, right? The idea of bhakti, we heard this earlier in the pastime, has to be a favorable mood. It can't just be that it makes Krishna happy. That's ativyapti, that's overextension of the definition, right? And it can't be that if you do something and Krishna doesn't like it, it may also be bhakti, right? So the idea that Krishna's happy, that defines bhakti. In that case, like Mother Jashoda, he certainly didn't like it, right? Avyapti, underextension. It's the mood in the heart of the devotee that really determines whether this is bhakti or not, for the benefit of Krishna and with a favorable mood. So Vyomasura and Krishna having a great, great fight. Finally, Krishna just grabs him around by the arms and just smashes him to the ground and kills him, right? To the astonishment and joy of all the witnessing demigods, to the dismay of the demons. And then he goes to that cave, smashes the rock to the entrance, and he lets all his friends out. And This cave is on the side of the hill. You've got to crawl up this really narrow path. It's not easy. And generally, it's full of thorns. There's a lot of thorn trees on the side of that hill. Remember? We need to go up there and go, oh, ow, ow, ow. You're in your bare feet, sharp rocks, thorns everywhere. And then once you're up there, you've got to shimmy your way down, legs first, pushing on your butt. It's not easy to get up and down that hill. And then we walk from there down the road and into a little path up to this other little hill. And what is that called? That's called there's a Pila, what is it? Pila Shani. Pichala Shila, the stone slide on Indrasena Hill. That's what it's called.
That hill, Maharaj, that we had to climb up very ruggedly. It has a full set of steps. You haven't been for a while. They've got steps all the way up now. It's really easy to actually get to the cave.
Yeah, everybody's getting soft now. You had to be really tough in my day if you wanted to go see it.
Yeah. All the way to the
top. So then on this hill, this slide, it's this big, long, stone, smooth slide. And there's a great picture in the Parikram book, if we could pull that up. And we all go there, and everybody works their way up the side of the hill through a lot of the local villagers there. They have cow patties that they stack up in big stacks. They've got the little huts there. It's definitely a little village. And you get to the top, and it's very smooth. And you can lean back and just slide down. There it is. There it is. There's another picture of devotees doing it. This guy standing up on the right, that's old Jai Gopal from America. I recognize him, and you may, I think that's
Krishna Das.
Yeah, that's definitely Krishna Das, recognize his vest, right? Sliding down, and many devotees, you might recognize their faces. Everybody have such a good time there, sliding down, running up, sliding again. Very happy place. And Krishna would do it, the cowherd boys would do it, the gopis would do it. Just a wonderful, wonderful spot. And when you go there, that joyous mood, it still infects the atmosphere there. It's very easy to capture the happy mood of playing. Right? This is a wonderful part of Parikram, right? Look at the smile on their faces. All the devotees have such beaming smiles, right? And in some small way, we're capturing a shadow of the joy and the pastime places in Vrindavan. So those are the little places that I'm talking about today. We'll leave some more time for others because there are some beautiful places. We'll hear about Kamyavan. I know Tridandi Maharaj has some really special stories to tell there. You're going to do Vrinda-devi, right? I've heard his katha on that, some really nice stories. So I'll just stop here, offer my obeisance to everyone. Thank you for allowing me to recall these joyous times, happy, happy times in this part of Vrindavan. And now we will move on. Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yes, it is a very beautiful place, and it does bring so much joy just to go down that slide, the simple things that bring out the joy of the parikrama and of Vrindavan. So thank you for that. Tridandi Maharaj will now talk to us on Vrinda-devi, right? Maharaj?
Yes. Jai Srila Gurudev, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Guru and Garanga. All glories to the Vaishnavas. All glories to Kamyavan. So yes, very beautiful pastimes that Sripad Bhaktivedanta Vaikhanas Maharaj has described. It's filled with pastime locations around this area. It's a big area. It's a large, busy township today. It's right in Rajasthan. And this is as I said previously, the birthplace of Mother Yashoda. So after Krishna's left this world, Rajanava, he installed many deities in Vrindavan, in Braj. And then Aurangzeb, he came very maliciously and was breaking those temples. So the Vaishnavas at the time, they understood they have to move the deities. So there was Radha Govinda, Radha Damodar, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madhav. And what's the one in Karoli? Madan Mohan, yes. Radha Madan Mohan. So all these deities were placed on wagons and they were very carefully transported out of Vrindavan township. And they all came here to Radha-kund, first of all, and they stayed here for a few nights in Radha-kund. So today we have the Pratibhu deities of those same original deities installed here in Radha-kund. We have Gopinath, we have Radha Govinda, we have Madan Mohan here in Radha-kund. And then they were taken further from Radha-kund to the outer precincts of Braj, which is Kamyavan. And then they were brought here. But, and all the deities were planned to take into Jaipur, the heart of Rajasthan, where their fortresses. If you go to Jaipur, you come in between a mountain range. It's naturally fortified. And the Rajasthani people are the most famous soldiers in all of India. So they would give very much protection. Actually, today, Jaipur is called New Vrindavan because Govinda is there, Madan Mohan is there, Radha Damodar is there, Radha Madhav is there, Gopinath is there. All these beautiful deities are there. Actually, Gupta Vrindavan, yes, it can be Gupta. They call it New Vrindavan. Yeah, because Gupta Vrindavan is really usually termed for Goradam. Navadvip is how we refer to that. So yes, Vrindavan. But when all the deities were being taken out, they came to take out Vrinda-devi. Vrinda-devi has her traditional home just a couple of miles north of Nandagaon. That's where she has her traditional home. Vrinda-devi, she has husband, etc., and her home place is there. She's actually like a forest demigoddess, and she has many varnas, or like goddesses that work for her. Actually, Nanda Baba and the other residents of Braj practically never have darshan of Vrinda-devi directly. They don't see her regularly at all. She's in the forests. They see Punamasi. So we understand that Punamasi and Vrinda-devi are two expansions of the same tattva, which is Yogamaya. Yogamaya is represented by Punamasi as the older ascetic, the tapasvi, who will interrelate with all the residents of Braj in making so many different remarkable arrangements for Krishna's pleasure and the pleasure of the Brijbasis. And Vrinda-devi, she resides in the forest principally, and she arranges for all the nocturnal pastimes, the Ras Leela, etc. Vrinda-devi becomes the audience for the Ras Leela, not Punamasi. Punamasi is in an elderly body, so it's not so comfortable for Punamasi to be present, but Vrinda-devi, she represents this. So these two personalities representing the same tattva of Yogamaya. So when they came to shift the deity, the original deity of Vrinda-devi out of Vrindavan to protect her, they brought to Kamyavan here, and she refused to leave, which means she became so heavy. She became so heavy that not even elephants could actually lift her onto the cart. And immediately the Brahmins understood, we can't move Vrinda-devi, she has to remain here. So this was the indication. So Vrinda-devi herself remained in Kamyavan. The other deities were housed for a few nights in this township of Kamyavan. So their Pratibhu deities are there today. Today, actually next to Vrinda-devi is Radha Govinda. This is Vrinda-devi herself. If we look at this deity of Vrinda-devi, she's always covered all around the sides, and all you can see is her face. And I used to know this lady, perhaps many of you will know her. Her name is Jagatarini, the wife of Burijan. She had service to clean and decorate this takoji in the past. And she described to us, this is a Durga, a Murti. She's sitting on a tiger and she has 8 arms and all her weapons and everything. Durga Ma is an expansion of Yogamaya. So this is in the form of Vrinda-devi. So underneath all those cloths is a Murti of Durga Ma, but we just see her face. And everyone is using their imagination to think of all sorts of other forms underneath the cloth, but actually it's just a Murti of Durga Ma underneath the cloth. That is Vrinda-devi. We worship her. She is Vrinda-devi. And Vrinda-devi has her manifestation or aspect as Mahamaya in this world, as Durga Ma. And Yogamaya also is infused within the same personality. So this is all Yogamaya. And there's no doubt that when the devotees go there, if they come with their list of requirements, their list of whatever it is their desires are, that Vrinda-devi will very easily fulfill all your material, spiritual, all of your desires. Vrinda-devi is there. So we come and we take darshan today in Kamyavan of Vrinda-devi, most special Thakurji. And next to her is Radha Govinda, is right next to her. Radha Govinda is right there. And then on the other side, in the third altar, is Jagannath. So these are very, very beautiful deities to appreciate. My Gurudev came one time to Vrinda-kunda. This is the original Vrinda-kunda near Nandagaon, where Vrinda-devi has her traditional home. And in this place of Vrinda-kunda, he described how daily, because just behind Vrinda-devi's house, or Vrinda-kunda, it's a big, big kund, and then Vrinda-devi lived there. Just behind there is a place called Gupta-kunda. Gupta means secret kund. So that pastime we heard when we went to Seva-kunj, I described that. But this is where the daily yoga pit, the first yoga pit of the day, takes place in Gupta-kunda, where Dhanista Saki, she brings Krishna down a secret pathway and into this place of Gupta-kunda. And all the other Sakis manifest their spiritual forms, their apricot forms, and they all perform a beautiful meeting ceremony, the yoga pit. It's the first yoga pit of the day. The second is in Radha-kund, and the third is in Seva-kunj. These 3 meeting places, grand meeting places. Yoga pit is the grand meeting place where they demonstrate their affection and attraction for the celestial couple, Radha and Krishna, the divine couple there. So straight after this beautiful meeting takes place, then sometimes Krishna comes into the cottage of Vrinda-devi, and Purnamasi often comes into that cottage of Vrinda-devi, and they hear what are the pastimes that are going to manifest in the day. This is how my Gurudev has described it. So Vrinda-devi, she is the presiding deity of all the seasons. So all the Lakshmis, all the seasonal goddesses, the 6 seasons of Vrindavan, they all appear in their Lakshmi forms, and they all request where should they go for the day. So Vrinda-devi, sometimes in consultation with Purnamasi, sometimes just by her own understanding, she directs the summer season, for example, to go in Radha-kund, the winter season perhaps to go in Kamyavan, and the spring season perhaps to go in Bahulavan. And all the seasons are nominated there particular according to the pastimes that Krishna is going to perform today. And when they know which demon is coming on the trail, then the whole pathway is going to be made beautiful by Vrinda-devi's command. Vrinda-devi has millions of parrots that are there today. We see these beautiful larakeets, they call them in the Western world, these green, beautiful parrots. So there's many, many parrots residing in the trees there today. And Vrinda-devi has planted every single blade of grass and bush within the forests of Vrindavan. She is the presiding demigod of all the forests, all the trees and the creepers. At her command, they blossom. when Radha and Krishna are strolling through the forests for their pastimes, which they do regularly. For example, they'll come from Bahulavan in a spring forest, and they'll come into Kamyavan, which is like a winterish forest. And there'll be a couple of gopis standing there with beautiful stitched leaf jackets for them. And they'll come into a winter wonderland, and all those winter blossoms will begin to manifest there. So Vrinda-devi, she's orchestrating this splendor of her land of Vrindavan, all for the satisfaction and happiness of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. All is being performed by Vrinda. Vrinda-devi and Yogamaya, as I said, are the same tattva. So Vrinda-devi can manifest anything. For example, sometimes Krishna becomes delayed in reaching the rendezvous to meet Radhika for their abhisar in the evening. And Vrinda-devi will send a chariot, a flowered chariot, for Krishna to come from Nandagaon directly to the abhisar location, or where a Ras Lila is going to be performed. And she'll directly bring Krishna there immediately. Also, she has the potency to expand the dham when it's necessary, or to shrink the dham, so to speak, when it's necessary. It depends on how the pastimes are unfolding. Sometimes Krishna has to be in a hurry somewhere, and immediately she'll shrink the dham. And if there's no need for that, then it'll be expanded. So the dham contracts and expands itself according to Vrinda-devi. We heard the other day the beautiful pastime at Dangati. So Vrinda-devi is there, proclaimed the queen of Vrindavan. And Krishna is saying that he's the husband of the queen of Vrindavan. And the gopis just laugh at him. They have no knowledge or remembrance of Krishna ever marrying the queen. Actually, Vrinda-devi gives her queenship to Radhika as the queen of Vrindavan. But we should understand another very important point about Vrinda-devi, that there's never a time, never a single moment when Radha and Krishna can meet without the arrangement of Vrinda-devi, without the authority, so to speak, of Yogamaya. It's always Yogamaya who is arranging for this meeting between Radha and Krishna. So in every instance, if we read through the Govinda Lilamrita, for example, or the Krishna Bhavanamrita, or these beautiful pastime descriptions of Braj, we'll see that in every instance, Vrinda-devi is making all these wonderful arrangements. And once they meet, then she will be walking with the divine couple through the various forests, and she'll be ordering the various trees and creepers to blossom under her order. Madhu Mangal is always so astonished at the potency that Vrinda-devi exhibits by just ordering these various blossoms to manifest their splendorous beauty and fragrances. So all of this, initially at the first part of the day, after the meeting in Gupta-kund, this is all arranged with Punamasi, Vrinda-devi, and sometimes Krishna's there and sometimes he's not there. But they will be planning all of the daily pastimes. These pastimes are utterly remarkable, that they're so phenomenal. So there has to be some arrangement to bring out the greatest splendor of these pastimes. So that is all nourished by the love and affection of Vrinda-devi and Punamasi collectively. They're arranging these wonderful pastimes for Radha and Krishna to maximize their time together, because of course there's so much separation. There's 12 hours of the day practically when Radha and Krishna are not allowed to have any intimate association. There's only 12 hours. Half the day is when it's full meeting, where there's no elders about. So during those separation periods is when, of course, the height of the anticipation of their meeting is being inspired. Therefore, the meetings will be so much more ecstatic because of that separation mood. So this is all orchestrated by the coming and goings of the demons, etc., of these different personalities that come into Braj, all for the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So this is We've come to Vrinda-devi. We're taking shelter of her, and we're remembering deeply how prominent she has in our own lives as sadhaks. We said the other day, our tulsi mala are made of tulsi. This is Vrinda-devi. Our kanti mala, our neck beads, that is also, we cannot actually reach Krishna also without tulsi Devi. Just as Radha and Krishna don't meet without Vrinda, we also can't meet without the service to Vrinda-devi. My Gurudev has always said that there are three principal Mahabhagavats always residing in Vrindavan. That is Jamuna Devi, Giriraj Govardhan, and Vrinda-devi. These three personalities, we should dedicatedly try to render some service to these three divine personalities. They are an integral part of Krishna's Leelas. So many Leelas are on the back of Govardhan. So many Leelas are in the waters of Yamuna. And all the Leelas with Radha and Krishna are manifesting around Vrinda-devi. As I said earlier, especially the Ras Leela, Vrinda-devi, she will appear as the audience. When the Ras Leela is going on, someone has to clap, someone has to demonstrate appreciation. If there's no appreciation demonstrated, it's a little flat, that they're performing an amazing exhibition. They carry these batons, or sometimes they're scarves that they're waving simultaneously all together, like flags, in their incredible dancing styles and techniques and so on that they perform. And Vrinda-devi is always there, clapping and appreciating the beauty and splendor of the Rasa. Vrinda-devi will arrange for the picnics. She'll arrange for the dresses after they've bathed in the Jamuna. She'll arrange for everything. Everything has been arranged by Vrinda-devi. And Purnamasi, she's more in the village section, arranging for the Brajbasis to be distracted from coming to the places where the Rasa Leela is being performed, etc. And Purnamasi has so many other particular duties, but Vrinda-devi, she's very much there in the center of the pastimes between Radha and Krishna. So here we can remember all of these glories of Vrinda-devi's services to Radha, unlimited services to Radha and Krishna she performs daily. And it starts from here, from her home in Nandagam. So we've come to Kamyavan, and we see that wonderful, splendorous personality is there in her original form. That's her original form. She manifested in the form of Durgama. This is how she was worshipped. Today, in Vrinda-kunda itself, there's a very beautiful temple being manifested. Originally, it was in ISKCON hands, but now it's no longer under ISKCON control, because one Baba, Madhava Baba, he donated it to ISKCON. But then the controlling governors or whatever of UP decided that actually it was never Madhava Baba's place anyway to begin with. So they took it back again. So ISKCON stopped their donations and so on to that place, although they put the road in for the tourist buses to come. But Vrinda-kunda today is a very, very beautiful place, has a huge kund, and you can see a beautiful new deity has been installed there in a beautiful temple. So we can remember Vrinda-devi in Nandagam simultaneously. So Vrinda-devi ki jai, Kamyavan ki jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Golf Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. That was beautiful. Just to listen to the beautiful splendor of Vrinda-devi. And of course, Braj is not Braj without the parrots, right? So yeah, thank you for explaining that beautifully. And also for reminding us what Srila Gurudev said of the three divine personalities, that's Yamuna Devi, Giriraj, and Vrinda-devi. Thank you, Maharaj. So now we hand over to Sripad Bhaktivedanta Sripad Maharaj, who's going to talk to us about Kamesvara Mahadeva, Vimala-kunda, and Adi-badrinatha. Maharaj,
So we just now heard from the lotus mouth of Tridandi Maharaj about the glories of Vrinda-devi. When we come to that village of Kama or Kamyan, first usually we visit the temple of Vrinda-devi, and then we proceed to Kamesvara Mahadeva, and then on to Vimala-kunda. Usually that's the way we do. So Kama, he refers to the gopis' love, which is considered to be transcendental calm in the sense that they have only one desire to please Krishna. Actually, the Bhagavatam says only the prema of the gopi is worthy of being called calm, because mundane calm is actually just selfishness, or whether concentrated or extended. Definition of calm is Atmendriya Pritivansha Taripoli calm. The desire to please one's own senses, that is called calm. And the desire to please Krishna's senses, Krishnandriya Pritivansha Taripoli Prematha, the treasure of prema, the same desire but not connected with Krishna's senses. If I want to gratify my senses, that is lust, calm. If I want to gratify Krishna's senses, that is prema. So they compare Chaitanya Charitamrita by Kaviraj Goswami, like one is gold, one is iron, one is useless, one is running this whole world. When we said love makes the world go round, in a so-called romantic way, actually we mean lust makes the world go round. We say fall in love, and the expression actually means fall in lust, really. But the gopis' frame is completely different. They have no other agenda except pleasing Krishna. So actually, their only reason to exist is to please Krishna's transcendental senses. Therefore, their love is called calm.
I raised my hand and
was
it to speak, but I don't know.
That the gopis were praying to fulfill Krishna's desire. Usually people come to Lord Shiva because of material desire, because he's Ashutosh. He's very easily pleased. You do some little tapasya, it's so amazingly merciful. There's even a story of one thief wanting to steal a big brass bell above the Shiva Lingam. But there was no way to go to the bell except to step on the Shiva Lingam. So he stepped on the Shiva Lingam to steal the bell. And Lord Shiva was thinking, oh, he has done big austerity. And he blessed him. And there's all this. You just bring a little kumkum and some bell leaves and do a little puja and whatever you want. But he has also another role for us. We worship him as Gopeshwar Mahadeva. He who takes the gopis as his Ishta, as his master. Usually there's a name of Shiva with something, so we say, oh, he's a master of. But in the case of the gopis, he's not the master of the gopis. He accepts the gopis as his master. And I think all of you know that story of Rameshwar Mahadev in South India, when there was a quarrel between different Brahmins, that Rameshwar was installed by Lord Ram, the deity of Shiva, before or after the defeat of Ravan. When they built the bridge. Yeah, when they were building the bridge, he installed a Shiva Lingam, and it's called Rameshwar. So some Brahmin would say, yes, this means that Lord Shiva is higher than Ram, because Ram installed him and worshipped him, so he must be higher. And of course, the Vaishnavas were saying, no, this is not what it means. And then the demigods, when the debate became so hot, so heated, that some demigods started to say, no, actually, there's no difference between Hari and Hara, Shiva and the Lord, and Lord Vishnu. At that time, the deity of Shiva came out and he said, both of you, men and demigods, are ignorant. This is not my tattva. I'm not different from Vishnu. Well, no, I'm not different from Vishnu. Rameshwar means I have accepted Lord Ram as my Ishta, as my Lord. Why are you embarrassing me, comparing me to the Lord? Because Shiva, actually, all the expansion of the Lord, they have the Abhiman of being Krishna's servants. And if you remember in Adi-lila, Kaviraj Goswami explained that they derive much more pleasure in the Abhiman as servants as when they identify as the Lord. They are the Lord, no doubt. But there is two aspects to that. They are the Lord because the expansion of the Lord, we're not polytheists, we don't worship many gods. But at the same time, they all identify as Krishna Das. And it says that they have much more pleasure. I mean, remember the story of Mahavishnu, who wanted to see the Krishna, therefore he kidnapped the sons of Sandipani Muni, Krishna's guru in Ujjain. Now, what is it? No. This is what God wants to see God. Yes, God as Mahavishnu wants to see God as Krishna to derive the pleasure of serving him and having his darshan. This is inconceivable, but what do you mean? This is different forms. Yes, but one candle at the beginning lights all the other candles. There's unlimited avatars. Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayam, or the original form of God, that is Krishna. So many incarnations, but no. And Lord Shiva himself, now this is another tattva which is quite subtle, because there is Sadashiva. Oh, Maharaj, Tridandi Maharaj explained it so beautifully the other day, this whole Shiva tattva. Because we have Sadashiva, we have Lord Shiva, Shambhu, and then we have the Rudras. It's like three different forms of Shiva.
Four. Gopeshwar.
Oh, Gopeshwar, but that's, yeah. So Sadashiva is a form of the Lord, of Mahavishnu. And then you have Shiv, Shambhu, and this is where it gets a little, when you read the Brahma Samhita, you start to pull your sikha and try to understand what does that mean. The example is given that milk, once some ingredient is added, like yogurt or tamarind, and it will turn into yogurt. So milk can become yogurt, but you cannot reverse back yogurt to milk. So from Sadashiva comes Shambhu, but you cannot go back to Sadashiva. And what is that ingredient? And then the Bhaktizoom gives a portion of the tamasic element of Maya, the minutest portion of Jiva Shakti, and then a tiny semblance of Swarup Shakti in the form of a mixture of Samvit and Ladini, which usually is the definition of Bhakti. This is the ingredient which is transforming, quote unquote, Sadashiva into Shambhu. And Shambhu is carrying the glance of Mahavishnu when he's looking at Maya, carrying that glance and uniting with Devi, Prakriti. That's why they worship the Shiva Lingam, not the form, but the union of the female principle and male principle, that is Shiva Lingam within the yoni, which is very difficult tattva to understand. Of course, in the Shiva Puranas, they will tell you that Shiva is the Lord and Vishnu is not the Lord. I mean, if you read Shiva Puran, you'll be very shocked. There's some stories. We don't want to use that, please. But if I may mention, and you're going to chastise me for that, Lord Nishingadev had killed Hiranyakashipu, right? And he was still roaring. So they say in Shiva Puran, Lord Shiva sent one of his servants to tell Nishingadev to cool it down, to quiet down. But Nishingadev wouldn't. So he went back to Shiva, said, kill him. So Virabhadra in Shiva Puran went, killed Nishingadev, took his skin and brought it back to Shiva, and Shiva is sitting on that. But because they are in tamas, they cannot accept the Lord as being the Lord. So, but to put them on the path, get to keep the loonies on the path, then they present in the Shiva Puran that he is the Lord, because then they develop faith and they will follow. And because it's a Vedic process, gradually, we don't know many lives, they'll come to the proper understanding. So that's why Vyasadeva made Puranas in different, 6 in goodness, 6 in passion, 6 in tamas. And when you read those in tamas, you say, what? Like the Shiva Lingam, they said that suddenly Brahma and Vishnu were talking, and they were speaking about the Ishvara Tattva. What is who is the Lord really? And suddenly a huge column manifested before them. And it looked like there was no top and no bottom. So they said Brahma went down, Shiva, Vishnu went up, and they could never find the end of it. It's like endless, it's as far as down as you can go, as far up as you can go. And then Shiva appeared before them and said, this is my power. And they all worship Shiva. So when you read this as a Shiva, you say, oh, yes, okay, so Shiva is my Lord and I should worship him. And you develop faith. Just like Bhaktivedanta has given so many wonderful descriptions about the holiness, so we develop faith. And Mahaprabhu in the first verse of Shikshastakam developed so many good arguments where we should chant, the 7 good effects of the chanting. So to advertise something to give faith, this is the process. Vyasadeva is not at fault. You could say, how could he describe such a thing? Just to give faith to people who have no adhikar to worship higher. One time even Prabhupada was asked, between a Christian worshiping Jesus and God and someone worshiping Goddess Kali and sacrificing a goat, who is superior? And Prabhupada said, the Kali worshippers. What? But so they worship God. Yes, but this outside of Vedic culture. The Kali worshipper follows a bona fide path given in the Vedas, sacrificing a goat once a month. He believes in reincarnation. He develops faith in the mantras, in the sages, in the Brahmins, in the scriptures. And because he's following a bona fide path, he will get elevated. Where the others is following some concocted path, change over centuries of speculation and superstition. So when we go to Lord Shiva, we pray to him. What do we pray? What is the only prayer that we've been taught by Gurudev? Only one thing. Just like when we go to Giriraj Maharaj. We can ask so many things. You see towards the end of Giriraj, when he starts to go down next to Apsara-kunda and Vimala-kunda, we were yesterday, people put stones, asking to, not like we pray, oh, no. Oh, Giriraj, give me a place next to your lotus feet. No, give me a house. And how many stories? So you put different, you want a 2-story house, you put 2 stones. You want a 3-story or 4-story house. They come to Giriraj asking material blessings. But Gurudev Srila Narayana Maharaj told us, ask only one boon, nothing less than Radha Dasya. Only service to Srimati Radhika. We don't want anything else. And he taught us so rigorously. Tridandi Maharaj, maybe you remember, Gurudev said, if Krishna tells you, okay, I'm very pleased with you, you can come to Vrindavan. No, you can become a cow in Vrindavan. What do you say? No, thank you. What do you want to be? No, you want to be my friend? Okay, you can be my friend. No, thank you. Oh, you want to be like one of my mothers or fathers? Not exactly. Oh, you want to worship me in Madhurya Ras? Yes. And in Madhurya Ras, okay, you can be one, a factory. No. What you want? If I can be the servant of your most beloved life after life, that is the only thing And Gurudev also told us when we pray to Krishna, so many names. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, yes, Dinabandhu, Jagatpati, Gopesha, Gopika, Radhakanta. Krishna will put his hand in front of you. What you speak? Don't speak those things in public. This is too confidential. Our Gurudev introduced us in the heart of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, the core, the wealth of our Acharya, which is that unique desire, one-pointed, only serve Srimati Radhika. And we always pray, please give me devotion to Radha Krishna with a leaning towards Radhika. And Gurudev always taught us, we approach Krishna. This is the karma of the gopis. We approach Krishna because he is Radhika's beloved. You are my mistress, and because Krishna is your beloved, he's also my beloved. Not he is my beloved directly. Never. That is the Mancharism. No desire whatsoever to enjoy with Krishna. No, personally, they have no, that's their karma. Their karma is just to please him, no personal desire. No. Gurudev said one time, even Krishna, no, on the invitation of Radhika, he embraced Rupa Manjari. He had caught her, and she just dropped at his feet and told him, don't you know I'm a Radha Dasi? Why do you treat me like that? Don't give me this lower pleasure. I'm so much more pleased when you and Radhika are together. My only desire, my higher pleasure is to make arrangements for you and her to be together. Don't give me this lower pleasure of embracing me or wanting to have love alliance with me. I want none of that. And that's why we have Rupa Nugas and not Ananga Nugas, because Ananga Nugas, she has a double passport of being a Saki and a Manjari. Therefore, we pray to her, oh, please let me serve Radhika under Rupa Manjari, but we cannot follow her path. She's a Nayika and she's a Manjari. That's all. She's the only one like that in our category. What is called in Varasaki? She's a Varasaki, yes, in Ganodesh, Ujjvala Nilamani or Ganod Varasaki. She's on, I think she's the only one in her category. She's at the same time a Manjari, maid servant of Radhika, assisting a gopi, one of the main Sakis. And at the same time, she has this capacity of being a Nayika, independent heroine, and Krishna can have love dynasty with her. We cannot do that. No, Srila Maharaj was speaking about Mirabai. Why are we not following her? Because she has not accepted the anugatya of the gopis. She was worshipping Krishna, but she said, no, Miraki Prabhu Giribara Nagari Dushra Kinai. The master of Mira is the lifter of Govardhan Hill. I know no one else. So no anugatya. And therefore, no, we cannot follow her example. And what happened to her? Because she did not accept the Guru, and she did not accept the anugatya of the gopis, she became a servant of the queens of Dwarka. Srila Gurudev told us as jivas, we can never achieve more than Manjari. We cannot become Saki, we can become servant of Saki. And we say only, when we say only, this is actually a very strange thing, because we're told that Manjaris enjoy even more than Srimati Radhika because of their Tadatmik Bhav. Whatever happens to her comes to them even more. But that's the ultimate fulfillment for a jiva. But now, Gurudev told us, if you want to be directly a Saki of Krishna, you will not get that. I think in the Bhagavad Chandrika, Gurudev has a discussion about that. So if you do that, you end up in Dwarka as a maid servant, sweeping the courtyard of one of the queens of Dwarka. Is that what you did bhajan all your life? Not to, I want to be with Krishna, and you end up sweeping the courtyard of the Mahishis, one of the 16,108 queens of Krishna in Dwarka. And Srila Maharaj said that she merged into Dwarkadish. Means that's what she achieved. And so, by the way, this so-called meeting between her and Jiva Goswami, where he refused to meet her because he was a man, and she is supposed to have answered. Oh, actually, in Vrindavan, this is very strange. In Vrindavan, I thought there was only one male Krishna. Saraswati Thakur says this is bogus. This story is not true. This is invented. He never accepted that. Well, her followers said, yes, she went and she met Jiva Goswami. She wanted to meet Jiva Goswami. He says, no, I cannot meet you. I'm a renunciant and you're a woman. Oh, I thought there was only one male in that, which like shows like some, it's like derogatory to Goswami. Saraswati Thakur said this story is never, there's books circulating with so many things. All right, then, after we visit Kamesvara Mahadeva, very respectfully, you will notice there's some very old deities of the Pandavas and Draupadi in the temple of Kamesvara Mahadeva. They used to be worshipped before, but the temple was not taken care of. Some thieves came. So now those deities are in a corner of the very ancient deities of Draupadi and the Pandavas. So once we come out of Kamesvara Mahadeva temple, after having begged for him, only one thing, give us devotion to Lotus feet of Radha Krishna with a leaning towards Radhika. We go down and then we cross through the small roads to Vimala-kunda. And on the way, we may go to the Pandava-kunda, or we may go directly to Vimala-kunda. Vimala means pure. Pure. Vimal, without any mal, any defect. So they say in Garga Samhita, in ancient times, there was a king called Vimala. And he had 6,000 queens. But none of his queens gave him any children. No, he worshipped Yagyavalkya Rishi. And by his blessings, he started to have children. So many beautiful princesses to birth from his queens. That's Vimala-kunda, yes. Vimala-kunda. So that king, we know that we mentioned the other day, during the Sharadiya Purnim Ras, there were all kinds of gopis who came to Krishna, not only the Nitya Siddhas, but also the sadhakas who became gopis from different origins. Some of them were Rajakumaris who saw Lord Ram in Janakpur. Some were the rishis of Dandakaranya. Some were the personified Vedas. Some were daughters of we saw Matsya, snake Kanya. All those female, all those persons in female forms, they all desired to have Krishna as their husband. They all did tapasya. And finally, when Krishna came, they all got the result of the tapasya. Now, if you think about it, the rishis, they did tapasya when? In Treta Yuga. Which Treta Yuga? Everyone thinks this Treta Yuga. But in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami says, no, Treta Yuga of 4 cycles before. It means 16, they waited 16 million years. And we do like this for 40, 50 years. Oh, where is my son? They waited 16 million years to get the result of their desire. How long did Kubja wait? Same thing. Kubja is formerly Suparnaka, the sister of Ravan. At the same time, during the Treta Yuga of that same 16 million years ago, 4 cycles. Not 2.5 million or 3 million years ago. No. Long time. That's why Gurudev sometimes he would say, if you do it good, if you play properly, in 6, 7 lives, you can be with Krishna. And sometimes you say, oh, if you get your soul after thousands of births, oh, you are fortunate. He would say both. Remember? And I never knew what to make of it. What does it mean to play it properly? It means if you're such a stalwart devotee, then you can make it quickly. Otherwise, it may take a little longer if you take the easy path or something, roundabout path. So when we come to Vimala-kunda, we see that the same thing which happened. This king who had daughters, they wanted to be, they wanted Krishna as their husband. And it is said that who they were girls, women of Janakpur. Some of them became gopis directly. And some women of Janakpur, where Sita was married to Lord Ram, when they saw the beauty of Lord Ram, they desired to have a conjugal relationship. And they took birth as his daughters. And then the King Bhimala is sent one messenger with a letter inviting Krishna. Please come. He was living in Sindh, which is not in Pakistan. Most of it is in Pakistan, Sindh. So he wrote a letter to Krishna, please come and marry all my daughters. And on the way, the messenger met Bhishma. And Bhishma sent him to Vrindavan where Krishna was at that time. Krishna received the letter, he agreed. he went to Sind. What is it? The place is Champak Nagari. And there he married all the princesses and he brought them back in Kamyavan, in that place. And they, so that's one of the reasons why this place is called Vimala-kunda, from the king Vimala. There's another story that it is said during Chaturmasya, usually all the tirthas, they come in Vrindavan to give the result of pious activities to everyone. But one year, it is said that the king of all tirthas, Tirtharaj Prayag, did not come. The Pushkar of Tirtharaj. What was that? Maybe Pushkar, not because both are called Prayag and Pushkar, both of them are called Tirtharaj, king of Tirtharaj. So one year, Pushkar didn't come. And then Krishna was thinking about him, and Yogamaya's arrangement, suddenly there was big current which manifested, and a very beautiful Kishori, very pure, beautiful girl manifested. And Krishna was very pleased with her pure love, and they had more beautiful pastimes together. And Krishna gave her a blessing. From now on, you will be called as Vimala-devi, and you will be the deity of that place. So that's another reason why that place is called Vimala-kunda, because of that Vimala-devi. And there is a temple of Vimala-devi there, among different temples. So many temples around. It is said that so many sages over the centuries, rishis, maharishis, came there to do tapasya and get, because it's in Kamyavan, and therefore whatever you desire, whatever the purpose you have when you do your austerity, it will be fulfilled best in Kamyavan. And this place, especially Vimala-kunda, if you based in that place, all your material desires or spiritual desires can be fulfilled. Gurudev says you can easily get gopi praying if you take bath there and pray for them with that mood. So that's also so many episodes of the Mahabharata, they happen next to that thing. Well, for instance, what was it? When the 5 Pandavas were residing in Kamyavan, they were also residing there. And the Duryodhana always wanted to put the Pandavas in trouble. So one time he prayed to Durvasa Rishi. And he said, Yudhishthira is my older brother, and right now he's living in Kamyavan. So please, he's inviting you for prasad. But you should come after midday when the third prahar. Because he knew Draupadi had the pot which could cook for a limited number of people, this most delectable food. But once she would eat herself and clean the pot, that was it. So he knew by that time they would have eaten. Durvasa will come with 60,000 disciples, and because he has a hot temper, if he's invited but there's no food, probably he curse upon us. Very good, we get rid of them easily. So he did like that, and they came, and Durvasa Rishi said, I'm going to take bath in Vimala-kunda. And then when Draupadi was thinking what to do, 60,000 persons and the rishi, and I've eaten and I've cleaned the pot, what to do? So she started to call her only friend. Krishna used to call her Saki. She has a very special relationship. She's born from the fire. Now, Draupadi is a very special person. It says she was spending 1 year with each husband. And during that time, no other husband could come, approach her. But what would happen is that after 1 year, she'd enter the fire, get a new body, and go to the next brother. So she was never, promiscuous, so you couldn't say she had many husbands, because it was never the same body. She was with one husband, 1 year, enter the fire, come out with a new body, and go with it. Not as some people say she has some connection with Lakshmi, some expansion of like a special tattva, Draupadi tattva. So anyway, Draupadi called for Krishna mentally. Immediately Krishna came. Oh, I'm very hungry. Please feed me. And Draupadi said, yeah, that's a problem. My pot is clean and there's nothing left. He said, look. He said, no, look, I have cleaned it. He said, let me see. He said, oh, there was a little scrap of spinach which was now stuck on the side. And Krishna just with his nail scrapped it and put it in his mouth and Triptosmi, I am fully satisfied. No. And at that moment, all the rishis, including Durvasa, who were in the Vimala-kunda, taking baths, they felt their stomach completely bloated, like if they were coming out from a Sunday feast of discount. No. Full to the, up to here, Akanta, like Mahaprabhu said, we should take Prashad Akanta, up to here. They felt so bloated, they were belching as if they just had a big meal. They were thinking, what will happen if we go there? And then Yudhishthira very wisely sent Bhim. Bhim came with his big mace on the shoulder. And when Durvasa and his disciples saw that, he remembered, oh, I did something with Ambarish Maharaj. I don't want the Ambarish Maharaj to be revisited. So they left by the aerial celestial pathway back to Maharishi Loka on the higher planet. It's taken. This way Krishna saved the Pandavas. And another story also with Vimala-kunda was Jayadratha, who was a brother-in-law of both Duryodhana and the Pandavas. He was always very attracted to Draupadi. He had lust for her. So he was always thinking, oh, if one day I can find her alone, I kidnap her, I'll have my way with her. And it just happened that he came because he knew the Pandavas were there. They spent many years there in Kamesvara. So he went, he saw, oh, Draupadi alone taking baths in Vimala-kunda. This is my chance. So he approached her, started to sweet word her. She wouldn't have nothing of it. She's just a chaste lady. Nothing, he tried by threat, nothing coming. He grabbed her on his chariot. So immediately Draupadi started to call for her husband, and she has 5 pretty powerful husbands, 5 Pandavas. So immediately when they heard that, they started to run. Arjuna sent arrows of fire to stop his chariot. Jayadratha understood, I'm cooked. He started to run away. Bhim caught him and brought him to Yudhishthira. He should be killed for his offense to our queen, Maharani Draupadi. And then they all agreed. But Yudhishthira is Dharmaraj, he's like goodness personified, Dharma personified. So he said, well, he offended Draupadi, right? So you should ask her. So they were asking, oh, please give us the order to kill that rascal. He said, well, it means that my sister-in-law should be a widow all her life. I don't want to see her crying all her life. So find something else and don't kill him. And they thought, for Kshatriya, dishonor is worse than death. So let's dishonor him. Not kill him, but kill him, socially. So Arjuna started to shave his head, but leaving like 5 sikas, like patches of hair, and shave half his mustache and half of his beard. Complete shame. Jayadratha went like completely dishonored. So that happened there on the bank of Vimala. Another time or so, Duryodhana wanted to humiliate the Pandavas, taunt them. So he came with a whole group and he made a huge feast of cooks. He brought the best cook of his kingdom. And they camped for a few days next to the Vimala-kunda. And at that time, one of the Gandharvas, Chitrasena, he came and he kidnapped Duryodhana and took him out. You're a rascal, you want to fight me. Yes, he wanted to taunt them. Oh, you see, you were fat, you were eating, ascetics, and we are having this huge feast. So to punish him, the king of the Gandhara came and kidnapped him. So Yudhishthira was such a broad, we cannot even imagine the modern conception. He was so broad-minded. He told his brothers, let's rescue him. And they said, what? Bhim said, what? Rescue him? This is our golden chance. Gandhara took him away, that this rascal offending us and is the source of all our problems. I said, no. When we are We are enemies between ourselves, but against a common enemy, we are 105 brothers. So rescue him. And he called him, instead of calling him Duryodhan, he called him Suryodhan. So sweet. Not hard. No, Gurudev was speaking those things. We're amazed. Can you imagine the broad-mindedness of that time? People having such high spirits. I mean, Duryodhan he did everything in the book to kill them. Made that shellac, harness and try and set fire to it and poisoned him when he was a child. And what he didn't do. But still, Yudhishthira said, no. So they rescued Duryodhan. They defeated the Gandharvas, rescued Duryodhan. And Duryodhan was so embarrassed. Gurudev said, even if you wash coal for a long time, it remains black. So he had been saved by his enemy that he was trying to embarrass. Imagine. He was so, for him, it was like a spear in his heart. And I will take my revenge. This is the nature of the rascals. You do good to them, but they get offended. So this also happened there in Bhima. And then we have, of course, the famous Pandava-kunda. You all know that story, with the 100 question of the Yaksha. They were there during the summertime, very harsh summer. All the kunds are dried up, and Maharani Draupadi, she felt thirsty. So she approached Yudhishthira, my dear husband, I'm so thirsty, there's no water around. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he sent Bhim, go and fetch some water. So Bhim was looking and he saw some water birds going to a place and coming back. He said, there must be a lake there. So he went, he found this beautiful lake, very clear water, and he thought, before to fill the pot, he thought, let me quench my thirst and I'll come back. So as he was about to quench his thirst, suddenly he heard a voice. There was like a crane, big crane, who said, Sadam, careful, Bhim, don't drink the water before you answer my question. And Bhim, like the Kshatriya, was, what is that? A crane challenging me. In here, took water, dropped, unconscious. After some time, Yudhishthira not seeing Bhim coming back, he sends another one by one. Same thing happened to all of them. They could not care for the warning, and they drank water and they all fell down. Finally, Yudhishthira came himself, and he saw his four brothers apparently dead on the ground. And he was also very thirsty, so he was about to drink. Sadam, Yudhishthira, if you don't want to be the same fate than your brother, you better answer my questions. He asked him 100 questions, and very patiently, Yudhishthira Maharaj answered all of them. So many questions were there, and 4 of them, they are the most important. The most important, the most famous one is Kim Ascharya. What is the most amazing thing? And Yudhishthira was such a learned, dharmic person, he could answer every question perfectly. Kim Ascharya. Ahani, Hani Bhutani, Gachanti Yamarayam, Kshishakshavana Pichanti, Kim Ascharya Yatapara. Every day, so many souls go to Yama, leave their body, Ramnam Satya. But all those who survive are all thinking this happens to others, that will never happen to me. If we stop, we say, yes, of course, one day I will die. But that's just if we stop to think about it, but we never think about it like that. We just go on with our life. You say, there's nothing more amazing than that. And another famous question was, what is the past? Kapanta. The truth about Dharma is very secret. It's like hidden in the cave. Which cave? The cave of the heart of the Mahajans. There's 12 authorities, universal authorities on spiritual matters. We have to follow their path, because you cannot establish the truth, Tarka Pratishta, Tarka Apratishta, by logic. Logic cannot establish the truth, not by hearing so many commentaries, so many lectures, studying. I forgot the verses in Sanskrit. But if you follow the path of the Mahajan, then you should. That is the path to follow. Another one, who is happy? No. Oh, one who lives in his own house, and that is a happy person. On a spiritual platform, nowhere exists for his own house. We are foreigners. We are like refugees. But one who has come to Brahmabhuta, the spiritual platform, is establishing itself. He really knows he is happy. Or one who has no debt. One who has liquidated his debt. Or one who eats simple. Those persons are happy. And then what is the news? What is the sum total about the news? And Saraswati Thakur was fond of quoting that. He said, this whole world is like a huge frying pan. And the jivas are being fried. No. And with the ladle of the days and nights, time who is the cook is frying them in the pan. And the sun is burning through the days and nights considered to be the fuel. This is the sum total of all the news. There's no other news than that. All the rest is like circumstantial, but this is the essence. All the jiva are being fried in a frying pan of the material world, and time is a cook. And the day and nights are the fire. That is the sum total. So many questions were asked by and then the yaksha revealed himself. Some people say that right from the beginning he showed his form. Usually in Guru's time we used to be here. He was a crane, a big crane, and then finally, when Yudhishthira answered all the questions, he manifested his form, revealed himself in his human form. And he said, I'm so pleased with you. You've answered all the questions perfectly. Please ask a boon. So Maharaj Yudhishthira said, oh, let Sahadev be revived. And the Yaksha said, Sahadev, but you're going to fight a war. You don't want Bhim or Arjuna. You ask Sahadev which no. And Yudhishthira said, I've always tried to follow righteousness. My father had 2 wives. So if I'm alive, son of Kunti, one of the sons of Madri, my other father's wife, should be alive. Therefore, he's a son of Madri, this way there will be 1 son of each. And the Yaksha said, oh, Yudhishthira, you're so glorious in your behavior. Take back all your 4 brothers. The 4 brothers were revived, and then we know later on during the Pandava war, each one had their glorious moments. So this is some of the glories of Kamyavan. But we should remember this place fulfills all the desires. So we should always have the same desire in mind. I just want to serve the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. That is my ultimate. It's like when we do every morning parikrama or pradakam. Those of us who have the good fortune live here. Then to every Goswami, Samadhi, every temple, every deity, every Tulsi plant, every Govardhan Shiva, we pray for the same thing. Please give me devotion, but if it's Radhika. One point, because that's what we've been taught. This is a wealth of our line. If you remember Saraswati Thakur when he came here, that's an incident, no, I think everyone knows. The king of Bharatpur was doing parikram with his queen and one of the princess or prince. So one disciple of Saraswati Thakur said, oh, look, they have so much devotion to Radhika. And he became very sober, said, actually, no. Because Radhika has a connection with Krishna, they have some respect for us, for her. We are the opposite. Because Krishna has a relationship with Radhika, we have some respect for him. And he said, if Radha and Krishna would have a prem kalaha, love quarrel, and they would separate, really separate for good, and the whole Gaudiya Sampradaya would turn their back to Krishna and just follow Radhika. Forget about the black fellow. We follow her. You mentioned that. Imagine the greatness of his Nishta, Radha Nishta, fully only this. This is the wealth of our life. This is what our gurus want to give us. This is their wealth, the wealth of our sampradaya. And we don't want to jump like the Guru Turiwali, like Srila Maharaj called them, the Sahaja brothers who live here, they want directly to jump to direct seva without undergoing the whole process. Srila Maharaj said, we hate them. They want to sit on the head of our gurus. They want to sit on the head of Raghunath Das Goswami. Now, he was doing his bhajan here for so many years, rolling on the ground of Radhakund, crying bitterly in separation, offering the tears of lamentation of his heart in the form of beautiful verses, Vilap Kisumanjali, Vilap, lamentation, heart crying. There's a rolling, crying bitter tears and separation. And they say, no, oh, yesterday I saw Radha Krishna. No, like Ramakrishna saying like that. Yesterday I came in my room and on the balcony I saw Radha Krishna. They were looking at the Calcutta. Now I'm looking for something else. Baba said he was a mad priest. So this is online. This is the wealth our Guru wants to give us. And it says in the Charitamrita, actually Mahabhagavats, they're not restricted by all the rules and regulations. If they want, they can give us. But it is said by Bhaktivinoda, but they never do like that. They could. Whatever our stage is, they could directly give us the topmost thing. We see in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita that Gopakumar received from his guru, he gave to his disciple what he had taken him lives and lives to accomplish. In one moment, he granted that mercy to his disciple. So Guru can do that, but Bhaktivinoda says, but usually they never follow that. They don't do unless we have followed the gradual process of purification. Gurudev said, if we were getting Krishna cheaply, we could also easily reject him. If Krishna was so cheap to get, cheap to get and cheap to reject. He said like that. Therefore, we have to go through the whole process of purification. Then another place, which is, we used to go very rarely with Gurudev, which is Adi-badri.
On the way back.
No, that's on the way back. Yeah. I mean, it's practically in Rajasthan, right? It's like at the limit. You see, actually, when you go there, that reminds you of Rajasthan, all these mountain ranges. Like we start to see when we go to Carana-pahadi, all these rocks, like that formations, hills, rocky hills, just like in Rajasthan. But when you come there, it's like different. It really reminds us of the Himalayas. And it said Adi-badri, this is the original Badri. In Himalaya, you have Badri Vishal in Badrinath, the deity, Ishtadeva Badri Vishal. And he said that this Adi-badri, this form of the Lord, which is a source of even the Badri Vishal. Oh, you have them here. So you have Badri Vishal, you have Narayan Rishi, you have Narada Muni. I forgot if you have the four Kumara. You have the Kumaran also there, I forgot. There's so many ancient deities. And then there is another place also, like a sub-forest. Where there is, not there, another place where it's mentioned that Krishna showed the gopis Adi-badri. It's one of the Tapatavan or something like that, next to Garavavan, closer to Jamuna.
Tapovan is closer.
Yeah. So that may be the place where, because it said Adi-badri is also there. It's in two places, there and there. Now, some people, they want to go to all the holy places, but it is said that hundreds of Pushkar come here in worshiping the dust of Vrinda. Hundreds of Prayags, hundreds of Badri, all the holy places, they come here. We don't have to go anywhere. If you're here, you've been everywhere. As Narottam Thakur says, if you're in Braj, the idea to go in pilgrimage is just manodharma, like some fantasy of the mind. If we come to Shamakund, for instance, we know that this was done by all the holy places, not of the earth, of the universe, each of them, every place, every lake, every holy river, the whole universe came to fill Shamakund. So if you're there, or in Radhakund, you don't have to go anywhere. You're visiting all the holy places, they're all present there. But in Adi-badri, there's a special thing. The the Brishbasis, they wanted to go to Badrinath in the Himalayas. And again, just like when they wanted to go to Ganga, Krishna manifested Manasi Ganga. No, when they wanted to go to Badrinath in the Himalayas, he said, no need, we go to Adi-badri, and there they saw those deities of Badri Vishal, Lord Badrinath. Just one last little story. I have a god sister called Kishori, and she was cooking for Prabhupada. Prabhupada taught her how to cook, and she told me one time she wanted to go to Badrinath. So the Indian buses sometimes you have to people just storm them, and you have to attack a fortress. So she was trying to go into a bus, and then she couldn't make her way. People were so much pushing. So she felt dejected. The bus left without her, and she was with her bag. So she took the next bus, and then they caught up on the way after so many hours, because it takes many days, actually many hours, so many hours to go up to Badrinath. I went also in the old days, I think 3 days or something like that. I walked for 70 kilometers by the road, and I twisted my ankle, and I just didn't walk anymore. So I had to take the bus. So she said she took the next bus, and they caught up with the first bus. And she said in one corner, very difficult passage, one wheel of the bus went off the road. And the driver was trying all his best not to keep the bus on the road, and the bus tilted and collapsed. Bang, bang, bang. And she heard, they all stopped, they all went out like, ah. And they heard, Sripad BV ki joy. Total. The bus had fallen in the cliff like hundreds of meters down. Remember, she heard that. Somebody in the bus, Sripad BV, all glories to Badri Vishal, the deity they were going to see. And I remember when she told me that story, and not long after I went there, I was thinking, maybe all those, I was the only young person, they were all elderly people. I was thinking, maybe they all pray not to leave their body on the road. I was saying, Krishna, if you get me out of that, if you bring me back safe to Vrindavan, I swear I'll be a good devotee. I was chanting Maharaj. Don't let the bus go down. So Sripad BV ki jai, Sripad BV, Adi-badri ki jai, Kamyavan ki jai. All glories to Srila Gurudev. Nitai go, Premanande, Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing all those beautiful pastimes with us and for explaining all of that. And of course, for reminding us of Srila Gurudev's words always. Thank you, Maharaj. Now hand over to Didi, who's going to do our closing kirtan. Taruni Didi. Didi, you on mute?
Hare Krishna, Dandava Pranam. Today we were going to sing the Vrinda-devi Ashtakam, which is page 324 in this book, Gangeya Champeya. Okay. Hare Krishna. Gangeya Champeya Tadi Vinindi Rochi Pravaha Snapitatma Brinde Bandhu Kabandhu Dyuti Divya Vasu Brinde Namaste Charanara Bindam Bimba Daroti Tvaramandahasya Nasagramukta Jyotitipitasya Vichitraratna Varana Shriyade Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Sama Savaikunta Shri Romano Shri
Krishnasya Vrindavanadanyadamni Datadikare Vrishabhanuputya Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Tvadagaya Pallava Pushpa Bringa Mrigadibirmadava Keli Kunja Madhadibirbanti Vibhushamana Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Tvadiyadyutena Nikunjayunor Atyuktayo Keli Vilasasiti Tvatsobhagam Kena Viruchatam Tak Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Rasa Vilasho Vasatishcha Vrinda Vane Tvarishangri Saroja Seva Labhya Chapumsam Kripaya Taveva Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Tvam Kirtyase Sattva Tantra Vidir Lila Bidhana Kila Krishna Shakti Taveva Murtis Tulasi Viloke Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Chiptascha Kamaditarangamadi Kripa Maitram Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Vrindashtakamya Shunayat Paterva Vrindavanadisha Padabja Bringa Saprapya Vrindavana Nityavasam Tat Prema Sevam Labhate Kritata Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Jaya Tulsi Manahari Jaya Vrinda-devi 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 Jaya Giriraja Jaya Govardhana Jaya Govardhana Jaya Vrindavana Jaya Giriraja Jaya Govardhana Jaya Govardhana Jaya Vrindavana Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Haribol 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol Jai Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Haribol.
Jai, thank you, Didi. That was beautiful. Thank you to all the devotees. A special thank you to all our speakers, Maharaj, Sripad Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Maharaj, Sripad Bhaktivedanta Vaikhanas Maharaj, and Sripad Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Maharaj. Thank you so much. We'll see everyone back on Zoom tomorrow at